Unlock the secrets to a life worth living. Join us in Stoicism 101 as we delve into the timeless wisdom of Stoic philosophy. Discover practical principles for resilience, inner peace, and a more fulfilling life. Are you ready to embrace the art of Stoic living? Have you ever wondered why some people seem unshaken by life's storms while others crumble at the slightest breeze? This question has puzzled humanity for eons, and yet a school of thought born over 2,000 years ago in the bustling markets of ancient Greece might hold the answer. This philosophy, known as Stoicism, offers a roadmap to inner peace, resilience, and a life lived with virtue and integrity. Stoicism, at its core, is a philosophy of personal ethics, informed by a system of logic and views on the natural world. It was founded in Athens by Zeno of Citium in the early 3rd century BC. But it's not just a historical relic. It's a living, breathing philosophy that still holds relevance today, in a world where chaos often seems to reign supreme. Stoics believe that by focusing on what we can control and accepting what we cannot, we can achieve tranquility and peace of mind. They propose that our reactions, not our circumstances, determine our happiness. And so the Stoic learns to maintain composure in the face of adversity, to remain unswayed by external events, and to find contentment in the present moment. Stoicism has been embraced by kings and slaves, presidents and artists, entrepreneurs and even professional athletes. The timeless wisdom it holds has been a beacon of light in times of darkness, a guide to living a fulfilling life irrespective of one's external circumstances. But don't be mistaken, Stoicism is not about suppressing emotions or becoming indifferent to the world around us. Rather, it's about understanding our emotions, acknowledging them, and not letting them take the reins of our actions. It's about cultivating an unyielding spirit that remains steady, even when the world around us is in flux. So in a world that seems increasingly turbulent and unpredictable, could the ancient philosophy of Stoicism hold the key to a life of tranquility and fulfillment? Could it provide the compass we need to navigate life's stormy seas with grace and composure? Let's delve deeper into Stoicism, a philosophy that promises tranquility amidst chaos. At the heart of Stoicism lie 4 cardinal virtues: wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. These are not just lofty ideals to aspire to, but practical guides for living a fulfilled life. They are the pillars that uphold the Stoic mindset and the compass by which we navigate the turbulent seas of existence. Let's start with wisdom. Wisdom isn't just about accumulating knowledge. It's about discerning what is essential from what is not. It's about understanding the world, its nature, and our place in it. It's about making the right choices and recognizing the truth when it stares us in the face. Wisdom is the ability to see things as they are, not as we wish them to be. It's the ability to separate what we can control from what we cannot. Wisdom, in essence, is the application of knowledge to life. Next, we have courage. Courage isn't just about being fearless in the face of danger. It's about standing up for what's right, even when it's easier to look the other way. It's about persevering through hardships and setbacks, about having the grit to keep going when the odds are stacked against us. Courage is about the determination to act rightly, irrespective of the consequences. It's about the strength to face our fears and the resilience to bounce back from failure. Courage, in essence, is the will to act in spite of fear. Then comes justice. Justice isn't just about laws and punishments. It's about treating others with fairness, respect, and kindness. It's about recognizing the inherent dignity of every human being and acting in a way that upholds this dignity. It's about doing what's right, not just what's easy or convenient. Justice is about standing up for the weak, speaking out against injustice, and striving for a world where everyone is treated equally. Justice, in essence, is the practice of fairness in all our actions. Finally, we have temperance. Temperance isn't just about self-restraint or moderation. It's about balance and harmony. It's about knowing when to act and when to refrain, when to speak and when to listen, when to push forward and when to pull back. Temperance is about not being swayed by our desires or fears, but acting in accordance with reason and virtue. It's about the mastery of our emotions, not their suppression. Temperance, in essence, is the art of self-control. These four virtues, wisdom, courage, justice and temperance, are not separate but interconnected. They are like the four corners of a square, each supporting and reinforcing the other. They are the foundation upon which a Stoic builds their life, the principles that guide their actions, the values that shape their character. In the Stoic view, to live a good life is to live a virtuous life. It's not about pursuing pleasure or avoiding pain, but about acting with wisdom, courage, justice and temperance. It's not about what happens to us, but how we respond to it. It's not about the circumstances we find ourselves in, but the choices we make within them. To be a Stoic is to strive to embody these virtues in our daily lives. It's to act wisely, to live courageously, to treat others justly, and to exercise temperance in all things. It's to recognize that while we cannot control the world around us, we can control how we respond to it. These virtues are the compass that guide us through life's turbulent seas. They form the core of Stoic philosophy. They are the stars we steer by, the lighthouse that guides us home. They are the beacon of hope in a world often shrouded in darkness. They are the Stoic's code, the blueprint for a life worth living. One key Stoic principle is the dichotomy of control. But what does it mean? Unraveling this concept, we delve into an understanding that can profoundly shape our lives. The dichotomy of control is a simple yet powerful notion that neatly divides the world into two categories: things we can control and things we can't. First, let's talk about what we can control. In the grand theatre of life, the only parts we truly command are our actions and reactions. Imagine yourself as the captain of a ship. You can't command the sea or the weather, but you can steer the wheel, adjust the sails, and navigate your course. In life, our thoughts, our beliefs, our decisions, these are the wheel and the sails. We decide whether to respond with kindness or anger, with patience or haste, with understanding or judgment. Now, what about the things we can't control? Well, that's pretty much everything else: the weather, the traffic, the economy, other people's thoughts and actions. These are all beyond our reach. We are passengers on this vast cosmic ship, subject to the whims of external forces. But remember, while we can't control these elements, we can control how we respond to them. You might be wondering, how does recognizing this dichotomy help me? Here's the fascinating part. Understanding the dichotomy of control can be an antidote to stress and a catalyst for contentment. When we stop trying to control the uncontrollable, we free ourselves from unnecessary frustration and disappointment. We stop blaming ourselves for things beyond our control, and we stop blaming others for not acting as we wish they would. Instead, we focus on our actions, our reactions, our attitudes. We can choose to be kind when faced with unkindness, to be patient in the face of impatience, to be understanding when faced with misunderstanding. We can choose to learn from our mistakes instead of beating ourselves up over them. We can choose to forgive others instead of holding grudges. These are the choices that lead to a life of virtue and integrity, a life in harmony with the Stoic philosophy. The dichotomy of control is not about resignation or passivity. It's about recognizing where our power truly lies and using it wisely. It's about steering our ship with skill and wisdom, no matter what the seas of life throw at us. It's a challenging principle to live by, no doubt. It demands self-awareness, discipline, and resilience. But the rewards it offers are immense: a sense of calm in the storm, a resilience that outlasts any adversity, a contentment that comes from within. Understanding and accepting the dichotomy of control is a liberating step on the path of Stoicism. It's a principle that can transform our lives, offering us a sense of control in a world that often feels chaotic and unpredictable. So, are you ready to take the helm and chart your course? Stoics believe that it's not events that disturb us, but our perception of them. The crux of Stoic wisdom, the essence of their philosophy. Now let's delve deeper into this thought-provoking idea. Our lives are essentially a series of events, a string of moments. But it's not these events that shape our reality. No, it's the lens through which we view these events, our perception, that truly molds our experience. Consider for a moment a glass of water. Some might see it as half full, others as half empty. The physical reality of the glass and the water it contains remains the same, but the perception of that reality can be vastly different. This simple example serves to illustrate the power of perception. Perception is the mind's paintbrush, dabbling in hues of thoughts and emotions, painting the canvas of our reality. A vibrant splash of joy here, a somber stroke of sadness there, a bold streak of anger. The same event can be colored differently based on our perception, and this coloring in turn shapes our emotions and our reactions. Imagine you're stuck in traffic. You can perceive it as a frustrating waste of time, your mind clouded with irritation and impatience. Or you can perceive it as an opportunity, a chance to listen to an audiobook, to ponder over life's mysteries, or simply enjoy a moment of solitude amidst the chaos. The situation hasn't changed, but your perception has, and with it your emotional response. Stoicism teaches us that we can't control the events that happen to us, but we can control how we perceive them. And changing our perception can drastically alter our emotional response. We can choose to perceive things in a way that causes us distress, or in a way that brings us peace. Now, this is not to say that we should ignore the harsh realities of life or sugarcoat them with positive thinking. That's not what Stoicism is about. It's about acknowledging the reality but choosing to perceive it in a way that is constructive, rather than destructive. It's about understanding that we have the power to shape our reality through our perception. And this power is not something that is handed to us on a silver platter. It requires practice, mindfulness, and a deep understanding of ourselves and the world around us. So, the next time you find yourself in a situation that distresses you, take a step back. Ask yourself, how am I perceiving this situation? Can I perceive it differently? Can I perceive it in a way that brings me peace instead of distress? Remember, the event itself is neutral. It's your perception that gives it color, that stirs up your emotions, and you, my friend, hold the brush. You have the power to choose the color, to shape your perception and thereby your reality. Mastering our perceptions is mastering our emotions and thereby our lives. So wield your brush wisely, for in the art of perception, you are the artist and your life is the canvas. For Stoics, actions aligned with virtue lead to a fulfilled life, while acceptance paves the way for tranquility. A fundamental tenet of Stoicism is the pursuit of virtue and the acceptance of what is beyond our control. This principle might seem a bit archaic, but let's delve into it with a modern perspective. Stoics believe in living in harmony with nature, not just the natural world around us, but also our intrinsic human nature. They contend that virtue, the highest form of excellence, is an inherent part of our nature. And what does virtue entail? It's about wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. It's about making choices that reflect these values, not because they are rewarded, but because they are inherently right. Now imagine you're standing at a fork in the road. One path leads to the pursuit of external goods, wealth, fame, power. The other path leads to virtue. Stoics would tell you to take the path of virtue, for it is the only thing truly good and within your control. The external goods, they are indifferent. They neither add to nor diminish your moral worth. Now let's talk about acceptance. Imagine a glass of water. You can control the glass, the water you pour into it, but can you control if someone knocks it over? No, you cannot. And that's where acceptance comes in. Stoics advocate accepting things we cannot control, like the actions of others, the passage of time, or the inevitability of change. This acceptance isn't passive resignation, but a proactive acknowledgement of reality. You might wonder, how does this connect to modern concepts of mindfulness and acceptance? Mindfulness is about being present in the moment, aware of our thoughts, feelings, and actions. It aligns with the Stoic practice of self-awareness, of being mindful of our actions, ensuring they are virtuous. And acceptance? It's a common theme in many therapeutic practices today. Acceptance and commitment therapy, or ACET, encourages us to accept our thoughts and feelings rather than fight them. This aligns with the Stoic practice of accepting things beyond our control. Stoicism, thus, is a philosophy that resonates with the modern world. It is not merely about enduring hardships, but learning to navigate life with virtue and acceptance. It's about understanding what's in our control and what isn't, and focusing our efforts where they matter the most, on our choices, our actions. Stoicism doesn't promise a life free of challenges. Instead, it offers a framework to navigate those challenges, to lead a life of virtue, and to find tranquility and acceptance. It teaches us to see the world as it is, not as we wish it to be. In essence, Stoicism is a practical guide to life. It's not about lofty ideals detached from reality, but about principles that guide us in our day-to-day lives. It's about striving for virtue, accepting what we cannot change, and finding tranquility in this journey of life. Stoicism teaches us to act with virtue and accept with grace. So the next time you're faced with a challenging situation, remember the Stoic way: act virtuously, accept gracefully. Now that we understand the principles, how do we apply Stoicism in our daily lives? Let's embark on a journey of practical application of this ancient philosophy. Remember, the goal of Stoicism is not to eliminate emotions, but to channel them into a productive, harmonious existence. One of the most effective ways to practice Stoicism is through journaling. Journaling allows us to reflect on our thoughts, emotions, and actions. It's like having a conversation with oneself. By putting pen to paper, we externalize our internal thought processes, making them tangible and easier to assess. This practice aids in self-awareness and introspection, both cornerstones of Stoicism. As we write, we might ask ourselves, did my responses today align with the principles of Stoicism? How can I better exercise the 4 cardinal virtues in my life? Another incredibly powerful tool in the Stoic arsenal is mindful meditation. This involves focusing on the present moment, accepting it without judgment. It's about being fully engaged in the here and now, not lost in past regrets or future worries. This practice aligns with the Stoic principle of accepting what we can't control and focusing on what we can. During mindful meditation, we learn to observe our thoughts and feelings from a distance without getting swept away by them. This helps us to cultivate a sense of inner peace and resilience. Then we have cognitive reframing, a technique that involves changing the way we perceive and interpret our experiences. The Stoics understood that our reactions to events are shaped more by our perceptions than by the events themselves. So if we can change our perceptions, we can change our emotional responses. For instance, instead of viewing a difficult situation as a disaster, we might see it as an opportunity for growth and learning. Or instead of seeing a setback as a failure, we might see it as a stepping stone towards success. And remember, practicing Stoicism is not about achieving perfection. It's about striving for progress, one day at a time. It's about becoming more mindful, more resilient, and more virtuous. It's about learning to navigate the ups and downs of life with grace and equanimity. Incorporating these Stoic practices into our daily lives can be transformative. They can help us become more mindful and resilient, more accepting of what we can't control, and more focused on what we can. They can help us cultivate a deep sense of inner peace and contentment, regardless of the external circumstances. So, let's start living the Stoic way. Let's start journaling, practicing mindful meditation, and reframing our cognitive processes. Let's strive to live each day in alignment with the principles of Stoicism, focusing on virtue, acceptance, and the power of perception. Stoicism is not just a philosophy to be understood, but a way of life to be lived. We've journeyed through the rich landscape of Stoicism, uncovering its core principles and practical applications. Let's take a moment to reflect on the insights we've gleaned. We delved into the 4 cardinal virtues of Stoicism: wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. These are the guiding lights, the moral compass pointing us towards a life of virtue and integrity. Wisdom empowers us to navigate life's labyrinth. Courage emboldens us to face adversity. Justice reminds us of our social duties, and temperance keeps our desires in check. We explored the dichotomy of control, a pivotal Stoic principle. It teaches us to differentiate between what we can and cannot control. The weather, the stock market, others' opinions, these are beyond our control. Our actions, our attitudes, our responses, these are within our grasp. By focusing our energy on the latter, we can cultivate tranquility and resilience. We then turned our gaze to the power of perception. Stoicism posits that it's not events themselves that disturb us, but our interpretations of them. By reframing our perspectives, we can transform adversity into opportunity and hardship into growth. We delved into virtuous action and acceptance, the proactive and reactive sides of Stoicism. Virtuous action urges us to act in accordance with our values, while acceptance encourages us to embrace life's ebbs and flows with equanimity. Finally, we looked at Stoicism in practice. We learned that Stoicism isn't just a theoretical philosophy, but a practical guide to living a fulfilling life. It's about applying these principles to our everyday lives and continuously striving towards virtue and tranquility. In essence, Stoicism offers us a roadmap to a life worth living, a life of virtue, tranquility, and fulfillment. It challenges us to act with integrity, respond with resilience, and view the world with a discerning eye. Thank you for exploring the profound insights of Stoicism with us today. If you found this journey enlightening, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more philosophical explorations. Keep practicing Stoic principles for a life of purpose and tranquility. Until next time, live wisely and stoically.